משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני תפילתי לך, אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך. הנני באמת אישך. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. משכנותיך ישראל.
Good morning, Shabbat Shalom, Boker Tov to Joy and Emily and Eli and Renee and all who are joining us on this beautiful, if a little bit chilly, Shabbat morning. We begin on page 68. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Shechazarta bi nishmati bechemla. Shechazarta bi nishmati bechemla. Shechazarta bi nishmati bechemla. Rabba emunatecha. We give thanks for the spaces we are in, for the beauty of our own Mikdash Ma'at, as we continue on page 74. Matovu, it's the morning. Matovu, bless us this morning. O Halecha, let us enter Yaakov, our heritage. Mishkenotecha, we are searching, will you show us? Yisrael, we are Yisrael, born to sing your praises in our holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu, Matovu, o halayich, Sarah mishkenotayich, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, born to sing your praises in our holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu. On page 80, we find Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings for everyday life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sech v'bina, l'avchin ben yom u'ben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten le'ya'ef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir she'enam einai, u'numa me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gijanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. The early rabbis of our tradition imagined that study and prayer were the twin pillars. Prayer gives us an opportunity to express our gratitude. Study, the opportunity to learn how it is we are to navigate this world. And on page 88 in our prayer book, we find one of those texts for study. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Good morning, Catherine and Robin, Edith, and everyone who is joining us as we continue to raise our voices in song, warming up our bodies, our voices, our souls, our prayers before the central portion of our service. We continue with Pesukei de Zimra, beginning on page 94. Baruch Shemar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Oseh v'reshit, Baruch Omer v'oseh, Baruch Gozer Kayem, Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz, Baruch Merachem al habriot, Baruch Mishalem Zachar Tov l'Rehav, Baruch Chai le'ahad, V'kayam lanetzach, Baruch Podeh u'matzil, Baruch Shemo. Bishvachot uvizmirot nigadelcha, u'nshebechecha u'nve'ercha v'naskir shimcha v'namlichecha malkeinu Eloheinu, Yachid chei ha'olamim, Melech meshubach u'mvorade ad shemo hagadol, Baruch atah Adonai, Melech mehulal b'tishbachot. And on page 96, words of Psalm 92. Mizmor shir leyom hashabat, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatcha balelot, alei asor ve'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir liyom hashabat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simachtani Adonai b'fo'alecha, b'maaseh yadecha aranin, magadlu maasecha Adonai, me'od amku machshevotecha. Mizmor shir leyom hashabat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Page 100 for Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 El Bekojo, hallelujah, Birki Auzo, hallelujah, Bigvurotav, Hallelu kirov gudlo. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu b'tei kashofar. Hallelu b'neva v'chinor. Hallelu b'tofu machol. Hallelu b'minim v'ugav. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu b'tziltzlei shama. Hallelu b'tziltzlei trua. Kol anshama tehallelujah. Hallelu, hallelujah. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Page 106. Yitkadav, yitkadash shemei rabba, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'yizman kariv v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'alam ulal me'almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'la mincho berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran belama v'meru. Amen. Our Baruch Hu praise, our call to worship, page 108. Baruch Hu et Adonai ha'mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha'mevorach leolam va'ed. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and all who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom you formed them all, filling the universe with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent works of your hands. For the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may all swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot. And on the bottom of page 113, love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote, we reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha. Ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha. Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Our Michamocha praise, found on page 122, comes from this week's Torah portion, Bishalach, the Song of the Sea. These words, taken from Exodus 15, are a reminder of the glory of the Exodus and the acceptance of our responsibility during each of our services. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osei fela, nora tehilot, osei fela. Shira chadasha, shibachu golim l'shimcha, al sfat hayam, yachad kulam hodu, v'himlichu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. Tzor Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, uvdechinu mecha, Yehuda v'Yisrael, go aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, kedosh Yisrael, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Page 124, the start of our Shabbat morning, Amidah. Adonai zifatai tiftach, ufi yagidi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, v'Ezrat Sarah, atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atarav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid Hashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, U'mido melach, Melech memit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, kishem shemakdishim oto b'shmei maram, kakatuv al yad neviecha, v'karaz el zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Meloch ol ha'aretz, Kivodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir, Shimcha bechol ha'aretz, Baruch kevod Adonai mimkomo echadu Eloheinu hu avinu hu malkeinu hu moshienu vehu yashmienu berachamav le'nei kol chai ani Adonai Elohechem yimloch Adonai leolam Elohayich Tzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Nagid Godlecha V'lanetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish V'shivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush L'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We conclude this section of our service with a prayer for peace found on page 142 in your prayer book. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. This morning's Torah portion from Parashat Bishalach becomes the namesake of this Shabbat, known as Shabbat Shirah, for the song we read in Exodus 15, not only Moses' Song of the Sea, the Song of Redemption, sang after the Israelites completed the Exodus from Egypt, crossing the Sea of Reeds, but also Miriam's song, found later in the same chapter. You'll see the words are laid out in poetic form rather than the prose standard in the rest of Torah, creating a striking visual image as we chant this morning's Torah portion to the special melody that accompanies it. The blessing before and after the reading of Torah can be found on page 250. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Mvarach Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, Venatan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Az Yashir Moshe Uvenei Yisrael et Hashirah Hazod Ladonai Vayomru Lemor Hashiru Ladonai Ki Ga'o Ga'a Sus V'rach Vo Rama Vayam Ozi V'zimrat Yah Vayahili Lishua Zeli V'anvehu Elohe Aviv Aroma Menhu Adonai Ish Milchama Adonai Shemaho Marchavot Paro V'chelo Yara Vayam Umivchar Shalishav Tubu V'yamsuf Techomot Yachas Yumu Yardu Vimzalot Kamo Aven Yemincha Adonai Nidari B'koach Yemincha Adonai Tiratz Oyev Uvrov Goncha Taros Kamecha Tishalach Charoncha Yochalemo Kakash Uvaruach Apecha Ne'er Mumayim Nitzvu Kmo Neid Noslim Kafu Techomot B'lev Yam Amar Oyev Erdof Asir Akalek Shalal Timla Emo Nafshi Arik Charbi Torishemo Yadi Neshafta Veruchacha Kisamo Yam Tzalalu Koferet Bamayim Adirim Michamocha Bailim Adonai Michamocha Nedar Bakodesh Nora Tehilot Osefela. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We'll study these words and more in our Torah study immediately following this morning exclusively on Zoom, and I would invite everyone to join us. Words of Aleinu L'Shabeach can be found in our prayer book on the bottom of page 282. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon HaKol Latet Gedula Leotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kuye Aratzot V'lo Samanu K'mishpechot Hadama Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem V'goralenu Kechol Hamonam V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malkei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo Echad. In preparation for our mourners' Kaddish, we remember those who have come before us. We mourn the passing of George Goodman, who was recently laid to rest, and observe the period of Shloshim for Lucille Hubscher, Joan Scheinholtz, and Michael Allen Shapiro. This Shabbat, we mark the yahrzeit of Selma Altschul, Edward Baker, Larry Barnett, Darlene Beck, Rachel Bregman, Helen Kassler, Melvin Sepikoff, Stanley Chotner, Hyman Cohen, Pauline D. Ferdinando, Meyer Feinberg, Shirley Fleischman, Louis Freed, Beverly Gurman, Kate Gewers, Norma Gordon, Max Kaufman, Irene Kishter, Carrie Koplo, Lily Wagner Lenchner, Harriet Cookie Levine, Francisco Lopez, Isabella Margolis, Stanley Moravitz, Morris Naft, Sorrel R. Naft, Emily Livingston Polly, Joseph Paul Richest, Alma Ruse, Gilbert L. Rotman, Ethel Shapiro Rive, Linda Heitz Samowich, Edward Schwartz, Leonard A. Schulman, Harold Saltman, Leon Stein, Harry Stolzer, Rose Tabor, Henrietta Topolsky, Michael Vestovich, Oneida Voles, and Arlene Weiner. Yeh zichronam livracha, may their memories be for us everlasting blessings. Words of Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei duchol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal, shemei d'kudsha barich hu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May God, who makes peace in the highest of heavens, make peace for us and for all who mourn. Shabbat Shalom. We're supposed to get a fair bit of snow in Pittsburgh starting tomorrow afternoon. I hope you stay warm. I hope you stay safe.